This is what we're dealing with.
God.
All right, here's the deal. I'm not going to say I disliked it because I didn't dislike it, but I also didn't like it. It's one of those episodes where I can't complain. I can't say, oh, I didn't like it because of the social messaging or the preaching. I actually...
Well, thankfully, none of that really happened.
That really didn't happen. I actually sort of disliked it. I sort of disliked it mainly because I feel like the pacing was just not good. It was off. And it sort of shined a light on all like the stuff I don't really like about it. And we're going to go through it. I actually made some pretty intense notes because I wanted to make sure that I didn't get it wrong.
So can I ask you a question then? Since you have notes? No? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
okay. Oh, I thought you said no. So this clip, this first frame that you're showing here. Right? Okay. Isn't he synthetic?
Yeah. Okay. But
that's my biggest beef. Because if you remember last week, I was like, I'm only going to be cool with this if it was a diversion and he wasn't really hurt.
Yes.
But he's really hurt. And I'm like,
but worse than synthetic is it's the whole flashback gimmick. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
34 minutes ago, 24 minutes ago.
I so dislike that unless it plays into the story in some way that's clever because I think it's just sort of cheap and lazy. So yes, he's synthetic. Yes, it's a stupid gimmick flashback. By the way, no one is afraid of Picard dying. I'll tell you why. The show's name is Picard.
None of the viewers are.
First off, and the day before this episode, they announced season 3 with Picard and all of his friends.
Yeah.
So we are all aware Picard does not die here. So this cheap sort of method of creating drama is even worse because we know
tone deaf on every level.
We know he's fine. So he's fine.
Yeah.
And not only is he fine, but it's also cheap in the first place. So in every way, this didn't work.
It makes no sense. He's an android or a synthetic or whatever.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Mike.
We can hear you.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I've never used Zoom before, so I was
I was kind of surprised that he used Zoom as well. But
sorry, guys. Yeah, we use Zoom so we can control everything. StreamYards is good, but StreamYards doesn't allow you to control the individual streams. So.
Yeah. No,
cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, we'll talk more because I need advice because I'm starting up a new channel.
Yeah, I'll set you up, bro. All right. So what were you saying, Mike?
So getting to your thing, I think that the Picard being, I thought the dumbest thing about this episode was the fact that if Picard is an android, they take him to a hospital and they act like, he's just a person that's had every single thing transplanted.
We're on the same wavelength, bro. I was just, all right. Yeah.
Although you're right. Although I did think it was funny when the doctor asked, has he had any implants? And she was like, all of them.
Yeah.
I thought that was comical.
I mean, basically, it's like, okay, he's an android. So, I have an artificial knee and it would be like, okay, so he has, artificial knees, artificial hip, artificial everything. And,
how is he bleeding blood? Can somebody explain that to me?
My kid has an artificial heart. And I think it would be hilarious if, that's not anything too, though. Just because you have artificial, I think the blood is not that big of a deal.
No, he's a complete copy. Don't you remember? He's an android. They downloaded his consciousness into a complete manufactured.
He's a Soonian android.
He's a data, but flesh tone. You know what I mean? Like, why is he bleeding red blood? Why? None of this makes and because they show it, they freaking ruin the episode. See, I censored myself there by opening with that and then 34 minutes earlier. And I'm like, and so I was instantly like, how is this synthetic?
Well, so the synthetics are supposed to. They're supposed to.
Was Data's blood red?
Data was actually an older model. So
I get it, but
was Doja's blood red? I think she had blood. She had scrapes on her face. Yeah.
Did she have red blood?
Remember when she got in a fight? She had scrapes and stuff. It wasn't revealed in season 1 until, first couple episodes that she was an android. So
okay, well, you know what then? Oh, okay. If that's,
I'm not even trying to make excuses for it because I hate this part so much. But the bleeding part isn't my major concern.
Well, what is?
Well, the fact that they used a cheap gimmick with the flashback nonsense.
Yeah, I hate
to open.
That's just so standard, though, with these streaming shows.
Standard is not good enough.
I understand, but unfortunately,
what's
that's
a synonym for standard?
I'm just saying that
basic.
Every streaming show does this at least once. Where they have their episode. I mean, like Battlestar Galactica did this.
Green Arrow did it like 9 out of 10 episodes.
I get it. Yeah, but there's a wild chance maybe they kill those characters or they're in a coma or they're
right. No, exactly.
But there is zero chance that Picard.
Yeah, right. You do it with the main character.
No, not just that. Like I think before you got on here, Mike, is like Brian said. The day before the episode comes out, they drop the season 3 trailer.
Right.
So there's zero chance Picard's dying. It's like,
yeah. I don't want to. I know we're gonna get there, but I don't want to forget this. They did mention too, like we need Picard alive because he's the only one that knows Q, and they're standing in a room with Seven, who has met Q multiple times. So I don't know how that. It's like, did you guys watch? Voyager?
Has Seven met Q multiple times?
Yeah, she met him.
Yeah, she has. Voyager.
I know Q's interacted with Janeway, but did Q really interact directly with Seven?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, he was on like 3 episodes of.
I know, but I'm just trying to think that Q. Because I'm not a huge Voyager fan.
That's a good question. I can't. What's up, Danny?
I think Danny's having an asthmatic attack.
That's by the blasphemy. Voyager was great.
I did love Voyager. All right, so let's get back to that. So maybe she didn't interact with Q, but I don't know. I think she did. But okay, let's continue going here. This moment with I'm gonna fast forward as fast as I can. All right, so this moment here. When Rios goes over to Raffi, I'm gonna get past all
Ralphie?
Raffi. Let me get to this moment when he's like, "Hey, they have real cigars here." You guys remember that?
Yeah, I love that.
I like Rios. Again, Rios is kind of the life of the show here.
Yeah,
right.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I'm loving Rios this season. I loved his whole character. I love that interaction. Like he's like really digging our century because
he's like, I didn't expect it to. He's like, what did he say? He was like,
he didn't expect it to be so exciting. Yeah.
So full of life, or exciting.
I mean, listen, this guy. In the future, he might feel like some dude that's a little out of place because maybe he likes real tobacco.
Yeah, I feel like maybe instead of the big theory,
like he's going to go to Outback Steakhouse and like, holy crap, they got real meat.
Well, hold up, both of you guys. Actually, I was about to tell you a story, but so on the other podcast we do about Picard, we were talking about how we think that Rios might bring the Doctor to the future, like Star Trek 4. I'm actually starting to think Rios is going to stay.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Let me tell you why I hope not. Because he's one of the
because she's got a kid. I like him too, but here's the thing: just from a story structure point of view, she's got a kid. She's a single mom. She's got her clinic. She's got a purpose. He's conveyed, he respects her, admires her in what she's doing. He likes the real tobacco. He likes the food. Like he eats the food and he's like, oh my God, in the food, like I think, I don't know, just if I was a gambling man, which I am, because I live in Vegas, I would put money on, instead of them bringing her to the future, he's going to stay with her in the past.
Well, that makes sense, and I get that. I still like the idea of, because since they're going for the Star Trek 4 vibe, them just going all the way with them repopulating the future with Mexicans. I still like that better.
How long have you been waiting to tell that joke?
I've said it before. So okay. they need to find 2 Mexicans named George and Gracie and put them in a car.
Jorge in Garcia or something.
Yeah, Jorge and Grace.
As someone who appreciates the Latina women, I'm okay with that.
Right. And they put them in the cargo hold.
Have
and
you
she
met
can
my
be their
fiance?
doctor.
Come on now.
She can be their personal physician because I mean,
hilarious.
Who in the future knows about how to take care of illegal aliens?
Yeah, actually, Brian, you haven't. I know Mike has, and everybody else has. You haven't met my fiance yet, have you?
No, I have not.
Oh shit! You met my son though, right?
No, I didn't even know he had a son.
I have 2, but okay.
Didn't even know that.
2 boys, 2 girls. Wow, I thought we were friends, man. We'll have to talk later.
I just gloss over personal details sometimes.
It's okay.
All right, so I am liking Rios. Now, the opposite of that statement is Raffi. She's like such a bummer constantly.
I loathe Raffi, and I hate, because I am a huge, as we established earlier, Voyager fan. Like Voyager is one of those shows just because of my 23-year-old son. Like,
you have a 23-year-old son?
Yeah, I'm older than I look. Like from 3 years old to 10 years old, he and I watch Voyager together every single week. Never missed an episode. You know what I mean? So I love that show. And for them to do what they're doing to Seven sickens me. And a lot of it's because of the Raffi character. And we don't need Raffi. And we don't need like, I don't know. I have a gay brother. Okay. If you're really gay, you're born that way. I knew he was gay before he did, kind of thing. And I mean, I almost said that wrong. I have nothing against gay people. I almost said I love gay people, but I didn't want to sound gay. But like, sorry, Chris.
Okay, this is good. This is fastly going off the rails.
Fair enough. This happens with me.
Dork just came out.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Move on to the point,
man. What was I saying?
So, I don't know.
Because like 7 and 9 has already been established as straight. So I don't understand like why they changed her. That's what bothered me.
Well, and the dumbest thing about the Raffi 7 affair to me is the fact that they went through the trouble in season 1 of Picard of establishing that Raffi was straight.
So all right, well, let's speak about 7 then, because here I actually have a problem with 7 this season. And the problem I have is I think that 7 might be their best character and they're thoroughly underusing her. She serves zero purpose so far this season other than to contain the rashness that is Raffi.
Raffi, yeah.
In addition to Raffi serving zero purpose other than to annoy. So we have 2 characters that one is literally only there, doesn't in no way moves the story along, just annoys people. And 7 is there to babysit the annoying character. And it makes no sense.
I would argue that's not entirely true, because the example I made a second ago, where if you plucked out the casino scene from Last Jedi and just took it out of the movie, it'd make no difference. If you did that with them, I mean, they're directly responsible for rescuing Rios. So like, I mean, elements of that could be taken out, but like the 2 of them together.
Let's remove those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
The episodes where where they leave the ship at all. Let's remove those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
And let's remove Rios getting kidnapped by ICE in the first place,
because he doesn't take off and get beamed into the middle of somewhere wrong. Yeah. All right, let's just skip those 2 episodes. What do you have? The story doesn't change. Picard leaves the ship. He finds Guinan. He gets introduced to the Watcher. Everything moves on exactly the same.
This is a perfect example of what Kadish was talking about last night on his show. Star Trek is just pigeonholing in this propaganda. Like you just said it, dude. You could take those 2 episodes out with the ice shit with Rios, and the story would be the same. The messaging that they want to,
right. It was just a sidetrack just to do it.
Right.
And it's a problem with basically the writers not having a good story to tell, and instead they have a bare bones story, and then they're looking for ways to sidetrack the story to extend it out to a season.
Right.
And I think this is a problem where these shows need to be episodic and not serialized.
Yeah, no, totally. Did you read this BS about Will Wheaton being all butthurt about season 3, everybody but him's coming back?
Oh, let me cry.
Back to Picard. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think if we remove those 2 episodes, remove the preachy episodes, nothing changes. Which means that if we remove 7 and Raffi, then nothing really changes. And that's a bummer because 7 is probably their strongest character.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
She has the most member berries, other than Picard, but Picard's too old.
But
to,
she's
walk
not
on his
even
own.
7 on this show.
No, she's not, because like the whole no Borg stuff, and they even actually reference it in this latest episode. Raffi says as a line of dialogue talking about,
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even mean this
the baggage.
season. I mean, like, even in season 1, she doesn't act like 7. She just acts like generic lady with
that's because
her face.
They were like, hey, look, this is however, like 30 years later, you're a lesbian, you're a man-hating dyke who runs this thing of pirates who like attack.
But that makes no effing sense.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying they sold her.
I don't know if she was a man-hating. I don't know. I think that's hyperbole. I think that it's been 30 years though, and
it's Dork. What do you expect?
I just go for that clickbait, baby. That's like the man-hating dyke question mark.
Look, I don't buy that. But I think it's been 30 years. She's obviously people changed within 30 years. A little more human. She's adopted more human mannerisms. Whatever.
Do you think you're going to prefer to in 30 years, bro? I'm just asking. Like seriously.
I don't know, but that is not the argument I'm making.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just saying because apparently
who knows?
30 years ago, 30 years ago, 7 liked and now she likes.
It's entirely possible that 7 and I'm just throwing it out. I have no idea. 7 was a switch hitter and we just didn't know it back then. Right?
Fair enough.
Who knows?
Okay.
But I think arguing about that is like dumb. I think that the character can change though within 30 years.
Totally.
Like, her personality can be modified. She can be a little more angry, a little more bent, whatever.
It's not that it's impossible. It's that if you're going to do that kind of a change in a character, we need to see it. And that's the problem is that, people say, oh, it happens. People do change over the course of their lives like that. And it's like, that's true. But if you're going to dramatically change a character, if you're going to fundamentally change a character, then you need to show that change.
I would argue, Mike, that they did sort of try to show that change. They showed her in the Fenris Rangers. They showed Ichabod getting his eye burned away, whatever.
Ichabod.
Whatever his name is. Ichab. So they showed...
Did you really just call him Ichabod?
I don't know. I don't know what his name is. Look, they showed, though, a couple...
They showed one traumatic event.
Right. So how can they show 30 years with a traumatic event, though? I don't know.
But you know what? You don't just say, 30 years later, she's a lesbian and she's a murder machine. I mean, she's the problem is she's not even remotely the same person.
Yeah, like think about it. Think about like your core values, the core of who you are, what makes you up, right?
Sure.
So think about that for the 7 we all knew and loved in Voyager, right? And now look at the 7 now. This person has totally different core values.
Well,
and if you're going to do that, like in its fiction or whatever, like I agree with Mike, like give us that story.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The reverse of that though is my core values 20 years ago were not as good as they are now. I have become a better person in 20 years.
Yeah.
But you're not a fictional character.
When I was in the Army, I was a pretty much a massive turd.
But you're not a fictional character. Like, because I was going to make this point earlier and then Mike kind of like buttoned it down. I was going to say, well, hey man, let's say like you and I, we just, we've had all this interaction. And then let's say like in a year, I disappear and then we don't see each other for 20 years. You know what I mean? Do you really think realistically I'm the same person that you knew before? Or, but then I was like, but this is fiction. So they would either show us that story or to speed things along.
I don't know, man, because not everybody stays the same. People
I get that. That's
better
my point.
For the worse, depending on their relationships,
totally get that.
Their actions, their addictions.
But in a work of fiction, shouldn't you give us that story?
Yeah, but there's a difference, and this is the problem, and people don't think about when they're writing, is that when you're writing a story, you have to show the audience certain things to make them understand why the character went from point A to point B.
The middle and the end.
Right.
Like that's that first thing you learn in writing class.
Right. If you're going to, and if you're going to have a character disappear and then come back and be radically different, then at some point you have to show what changed them.
Right.
And that can be the big mystery. That can be something you uncover. And that's where you do something like, and unfortunately it was clunkily done this episode, that's where you do the flashback type stuff where you say, okay, 6 months ago this happened.
They're not going to give that to it. And they could just give us one episode. And that's the problem with this not being episodic and only having 8 instead of 20 some odd episodes.
Right.
Is they can't dedicate the time they should to the storytelling for a character like Seven, because like, just give me one episode. You could do it. It could be like one event that happened.
You know what they could have done though? In season 1, when they introduced Seven, they could have literally had like a montage of her fighting with that, with the people that the Fenris Rangers were fighting with.
Right.
They could have had a montage of that. They could have had, people she die and trauma.
I get it.
Here's a perfect question about that.
It's
who
not the 80s,
hell
man.
are the Fenris Rangers? Who the hell are they?
I think they're a bunch of terrorists, man. I don't think
they're the Maquis.
They're like the new Maquis.
I didn't know anything. They didn't exist before Picard.
All right, but you could have made the same argument in Voyager that the Maquis didn't exist before Voyager.
No, the Maquis existed in TNG, actually.
Oh, did they really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I didn't really know anything about the Maquis until...
No, but they were at least mentioned a few times in TNG.
That's fair. Let's get back to this. How do you guys feel so far with Talim / Laris' character?
I like conceptually that she's a supervisor, but I mean, are they going to explain why she looks exactly like her?
I think they will, because they gave us a little Easter egg. Because I always watch everything with subtitles.
Right.
Mm-hmm. She spoke in Romulan in this episode.
Oh, did she? I
Yes.
didn't. I see. I didn't.
Did you see that, Brian?
Yeah, and it was right after he was saying that he thought she was an ancestor of someone he knew.
Yeah. So this is what I think. I bet you, like Spock, Laris she's Romulan, but she's half human. You know what I mean? That's what I think. And you're hearing it here first, folks. But like, what did we say? Like, Brian, you called.
Well,
something.
I suggested.
The Gary 7. We called that like the week before they confirmed it on the show. Remember that? That was awesome. Yeah.
I suggested that she was that Laris was her great granddaughter or whatever. So
no, I'm talking. Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the Gary 7 stuff. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, well, we talked about that as soon as we saw her. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm liking her conceptually too. I'm not seeing where she's going to go with that. All right. So on to Jurati real quick, because there was an interesting scene with our favorite murder doctor. And by the way, I'm still loving Jurati so far. So
hey, man, I'm on the Jurati train. This is the.
Hey, did you see the thumbnail for tomorrow's live stream?
Yeah.
Doctor thing. Oh, Matt!
I demanded that Matt give me some royalties for using Murder Doctor. In the
right,
thumbnail.
For real.
Yeah.
But
no, like I've been very outspoken about hating Jurati. I
like Jurati this season. I actually do.
Dude, that dress, them
she looked good.
Them boobies.
She looks fantastic. Yeah.
Oh my God, the singing scene, like she won me over. Like I'm loving this version of her, like being. Anyway, I'll let you talk about it, so I don't want to skip ahead.
So this is the scene. So there's one thing about it though. I like the singing or whatever. I like this. Something did bother me a little bit, because she uses like micro EMPs or whatever nonsense to shut down the lights, right?
Yeah.
But then why did the band start playing?
I know, yeah.
Well, those are analog devices, brother.
And I was okay with that until the super zealous spotlight engineer was like, "Oh, let's get this guy." What is he just sitting there with a generator? Right? I just thought it was really convenient.
No, I was just like, no, my problem was like, I could even see the spotlight, because I was thinking, well, maybe the spotlight's on some kind of
the Borg Queen could control it.
Yeah, like the Borg Queen was controlling some kind of rig that
the spot rigs do have the remote control.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe the Borg Queen was remote controlling it or something. My problem was, why is the band suddenly striking up a tune for her?
Well, here's the thing. I can actually
the band is analog though.
No, yeah, but I can actually answer that because I think I know what he's getting at. So when you're a jazz band or a jam band, those people are so talented. And they actually made the point to do this. You listen to the singer sing the first like 4 or 5 bars.
That's true. No, I'm a drummer. I'm a drummer.
No,
in a band.
I get that.
That's exactly true. You can pick up an entire melody based.
No. I get that. I play the flute.
Okay.
So I actually do. No, I do. I'm classically trained. I play the flute my whole life.
So I'm a classically trained drummer, bro. We should get together.
You're literally blowing a pole. That's cool.
Wow. You are such a dick.
I actually play drums every week in a band, and often we will pick up based on what someone's saying that we've never met.
Yeah, no, exactly. So
I get that. No, so my problem is they started playing for her as if this was a scheduled event.
Well, they didn't know. I could buy that too.
What do you mean they didn't know? The power
because it was
went
such
out.
It was such a high security thing, and
right.
Hold up.
I guess it's time to strike up a tune.
You're like what is it they say? Like it need to know. Like it's a need to know thing. Like if you don't need to know, you don't need to know.
Well, hold up. Her voice was coming out of speakers. I can totally see the band being like, "Oh, this is part of the show."
Yeah. And I guess the Borg Queen. Okay, I was just about to ask, how did her voice come out of speakers?
Something. Yeah, she had to manipulate that.
Yeah. So like that's another reason. There you go. That's actually the main reason. If she's coming out of the official speakers
and she got the spotlight on her.
Oh shit. Yeah, we gotta like, okay, let's listen. Okay, she sang about 4 or 5 verses. We got this, and that's how it felt to me. So that didn't bother me.
I can buy that.
Yeah, right.
It's a hard buy, but I can buy.
Wow, really, dude? Come on.
It's a little bit of a hard buy. It's a little bit convenient to me.
I know a lot of jazz musicians, and
I'm a jazz drummer. I'm a classically trained jazz drummer, and I also play in a literal band every week, and I get that part. But I did feel now your explanation of the Borg Queen controlling the spotlight and the mic. Okay, I buy that.
Okay,
and I buy the band can pick it up. But I also felt like it was really convenient. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes in a band,
suspend disbelief. It's a freaking TV show.
Right. So I can do it this time. It's not completely impossible. So that's okay.
And dude, I don't know. I was never, ever, I swear to you. I'm glad Cece's not here. I was never attracted to Jurati, but holy cow, what a difference a dress makes, right? Like, man,
speaking of a dress, what about this scene with the black eyes?
Yeah, right.
I'm so surprised that this is not Matthew Kadish's thumbnail.
Yeah.
Why is this not the thumbnail for tomorrow, Matt?
It should be.
With her smiling with black eyes,
you know what?
Doctor strikes again.
I just did a print screen of that, and I'm gonna give him. Oh, it didn't work, man. Is that some Zoom witchery?
I don't know, man.
Oh well.
All right. Zoom what about this scene when security cosplay Picard decides to talk to Renee Picard? I thought so. Well, I like the fact that Picard was convincing Renee Picard, that she's capable, she can go on the trip, whatever.
Yeah.
It did feel like, once again, more never-ending mental health preaching to me.
Right. It seems like that's like the theme of the season.
So, it's not even this season.
Shane said the theme of Discovery season 4 and Picard season 2 is mental health.
No, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's not just Picard, it's Discovery. That's why I still haven't seen, I don't get the J.J. Abrams little sister joke because I watched the last 2 episodes and I refuse. I'm done with Discovery. I'm not wasting another second of my life.
That's fine.
On Discovery. I'm sorry.
But I did like this scene. I just don't like that it's more and more of the same.
Is it that maybe I don't know, maybe the staff at CBS are just really concerned about their mental health?
I never heard the term mental health until I was in my 30s. So
I mean,
I'm
granted,
older than
mental
you.
health awareness is a good thing.
Sure.
But it does seem.
No, it is. I run a charity that I'm not even going to plug that is all about mental health awareness and suicide
absolutely.
prevention.
I think mental health is important, but I also feel like for storytelling purposes, it's becoming excessive.
No. When it's like a checkbox thing,
right? Then then it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like we said before last week, the ship had mental health issues in Discovery. So
right.
Is it because,
even the ship, and now a synthetic? That's what they did in this episode. They said it's a mental block. Everything should be working. You remember?
Oh yeah, that actually we're gonna get there, but it actually scares me how much
is it like, I mean, because remember what happened with Zack Snyder's kid?
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, and Hollywood is refute with people having serious mental health crises. You know, people killing themselves, stuff like that. And part of it is because it takes a certain extreme type of personality to even do that kind of work.
On a couple different spectrums, but that's a totally different conversation. Because
but I'm just saying, people that work in the entertainment business,
in make believe, people who work in plain make believe,
right,
are either very serious. Like again, I'd love to talk about this sometime, but not tonight.
Right,
either on one end of the spectrum,
or
there's two ends of the spectrum.
So. And so because of that, they tend to have a lot of mental health problems, and that might be why a lot of them are trying to push mental health issues in their work right now.
Yeah, but like, come on, man. Like, especially like I run a freaking, and I'm saying this, it's like enough is enough. You know what I mean? Like really
well, but you know, the charity you work for isn't specifically mental health.
No, it's not. Well, my Nerds Never Say Die is. I never talk about that one. But the one you know about is the Las Vegas Cosplayers Alliance,
right?
And but we also do work with children with mental health issues, but we just do children. Nerds Never Say Die is I get people who can't here just in Vegas, people who can't afford to get therapy.
Okay.
We help them get therapy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is something like, I'm not belittling the subject at all. It's actually near and dear to my heart. If you go to my Twitter at DorkNightLV, my bio even said like the first thing is like mental health advocate. So like, this is an important topic to me, but when you're taking Star Trek, something that I love, that's supposed to be like, I'm checking out of real life. Like,
right. It's not supposed to be. You watch this stuff to escape reality.
Exactly. Thank you. That's my point. Sorry.
Yeah, not to get dragged down by it.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're right. So back to now we're back to the scene that started the whole thing, and he's not. Yeah. He got.
How many times do we go back to the same scene?
3 times, actually. 3 times.
Is it 3? I thought I was going to say 4. Okay.
It felt like more than that. And you know what's funny is that, you know, when we keep seeing this scene, I swear, look at this shot. Doesn't it look like he's like on a bathroom floor? I had no idea he got hit by a car.
Yeah, it does look like he's on a bathroom
floor. Guys, that is actually the floor outside the Four Seasons in downtown LA. I've been there multiple times.
Yeah.
This moment, Rios says we can't take him to the biobed because the biobed's not a doctor. And I thought I didn't like that.
Which makes no freaking sense.
That makes no sense.
He's a freaking robot. He's an android.
We don't want a 25th century biobed. We want a 21st century doctor. You know, the ones that Dr. McCoy, a 23rd century doctor, was calling the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages, yes.
Yeah, I believe that a biobed, even just a biobed from the 24th century is gonna be better than a doctor in this century.
Yeah, right.
So I just felt that was just another reason to get back to sexy Hispanic doctor lady.
Yeah.
And I guess,
which just feeds into my thing. I think Rios
I guess
is going to stay.
I still think they need to repopulate the Mexicans in the future.
Rios is going to stay. Rios is going to stay.
Look here.
Let's say, hey, let's put a friendly wager on it. I'll do like $5.
I mean, I sort of agree with you, so I don't want to put a wager on it.
Okay.
Here's the deal: it's the fact that this was used as a plot device to get back to her, though, sort of bothers me because I feel like any Trekkie with a brain is going to be like, I mean, a biobed,
right? Yeah. No, they're doing so much lazy. They're doing so much lazy writing stuff. I'm doing a really good job of censoring myself. Once we go to members only, though, I get to take the restraints off.
Go nuts.
Okay.
The good thing is, though, we did get that scene where he goes, he's had some transplants. And they're like, how many? She's like, all of them.
All of them. That was, I'm not going to lie, man. I laughed. I laughed.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Using the paddles on the robot.
Yeah, and then he blows it all up, and I'm like, I because I'm already pissed that he's like this when he's synthetic, but at least they did that gag. You know what I mean? Because a synthetic body would do that.
Yes, and then there's this one line, and I don't want to leave this scene without referencing it when the doctor is pissed that she's there, dealing with some some random sketchy guy.
Right.
And Rios tries to assure her that we're the good guys.
Are you talking about the kid line?
And when she's like, "We're the good guys," and she goes, "Good guys don't have to say that."
Good guys, yeah. Good guys don't say that.
Yeah. That was cool.
That was cool.
I'll give him that. That was cool. This is also when they said that they need Picard because he's the only one who knows how to deal with Q. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think the reason you need Picard is because the name of the show is called Picard.
Is Picard, but they can't say that. I don't know. This
that would be great if they did say that. Though.
No, we need Picard. It's literally called Picard.
Picard. No, this whole episode was a big strikeout for me. I guess, for lack of a better analogy. There was a lot of cool stuff that they could have done.
Thank you. That's another $1.
No, I stopped myself. I didn't.
No, you said it.
I did not enunciate the T. I did not enunciate the T.
You did. Right. I heard the T. Don't try to.
Hey, Brian, did you hear the T?
I heard the T.
Damn.
Sorry, man.
Oh, and I did it.
That's another $1.
That's $2. All right, fine. I'm just going to stop talking. You guys go ahead.
Look, you're right, though. This episode was not... I didn't dislike this episode because of any weird preachy stuff. I think I just disliked this episode because I felt like it was just, story-wise, just bad. Didn't
a bad episode.
Just a bad episode.
I think, for me, this episode was... I think I felt about this episode the way, Danny, you felt about the third episode. It just was there. I didn't feel much either way. It didn't hurt me, but it didn't help me either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't feel much afterwards.
And it sucks because this is only an 8-episode season. You know what I mean? Come on. If it's going to be 8, give me 8 great episodes. If you're giving me 20 to 30, okay, you can have a couple freaking filler.
All right. That's another $1.
Can't win with you, can we, buddy? Jeez. Okay.
I'm working on that new computer, buddy.
All right. Hey, I love you guys. I'm going to take a break. You finish up this show. I'll be back in time for the members only show. So.
Okay. No. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, where are you going, man? Oh, he just left.
He is not going. Yo, you need to get back here, Danny. That was before you find the big reveal that his daughter is really just a genetic experiment.
Right. And that, I have a lot to say about that too. I felt like that was a little bit lazy. Okay, so you have this character that he was a bad guy, but we have sympathy for him because he's a bad guy doing bad things for right reasons because his daughter. And in one episode...
But then it turns out that she's really not his daughter.
So you've managed to completely take this 3-dimensional villain and completely strip him of everything that makes him special and just make him a bad guy in general.
Right. Now he's just a villain.
Right, that was a bad move. You had this 3-dimensional character who bad guy, but he had, he had a lot going for him. We had sympathy for him. We understood his complexities. And now he's just a bad guy who actually lied to his quote unquote daughter forever and just makes him just a bad guy. They could have skipped the whole eugenics thing and the multiple copies of the same kid. And they could have literally made it his kid. They could have continued the exact storyline and they didn't have to introduce any of it.
It would have made so much more sense if it was his daughter with a genetic disease as opposed to some kind of genetic experiment that was gone wrong. Because now any genuine feelings is just his greed and lust for power, not a a genuine love for his progeny.
Right. And that is a bummer because I was really starting to like this character.
Right. And that's the problem.
Cora talking to herself. Let me go look up all the things on the computer and just let me quickly just show the audience why this guy is like the worst person on screen right now.
Right. And now I'm wondering though, and I still and unfortunately I don't know how long it takes Dork Knight to pee, but hope he doesn't have any old man problems. Sounds like he might, but the one thing I do think is interesting because I don't think they said his first name before this episode.
Oh no, I think they said Adam, didn't they?
I don't remember hearing his first name before, Adam.
Really?
But maybe I just didn't really resonate with me before this episode. But I found it interesting that his name is Adam, in that maybe it's just because of last week when I kind of came up with my little theory as to what he could represent.
Right.
Which is that if he, especially if this project with her fails, which it seems like it's kind of doomed to fail, and she dies, and he ends up cloning himself.
Oh.
And so he clones himself and he creates another Soong, who then clones himself and makes another Soong, who then clones himself and makes another Soong, who eventually makes Data.
Hey, man, you got to stop doing this. You did this on the other show. Stop writing better stuff than the writers of Star Trek.
But that's why, okay, you're back. But that's why I think it's interesting.
I've been back.
Okay, well, I don't know because he removed you from the screen.
Oh wow!
So,
okay.
I think he's just trying to hint that you are not important.
I heard you guys. I heard everything you guys talked about, and I was gonna go smoke. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. But then you started talking about me having old man problems. I was like, oh, okay, I can't smoke a cigarette now.
I really like that idea that he's cloned himself. Yeah. And maybe
it is a good idea.
Maybe the Soong that created before Lore and Data, maybe that was his attempt. Maybe his idea was not to actually, instead of cloning himself, he's going to make a better way.
Yeah.
And transfer his consciousness. Maybe his plan was the way it worked out in Picard season 1. Maybe that was his plan the whole time, but he couldn't lock it down.
Right. No. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah.
We've been cloning. I've been cloning myself for all this time, but a better version of this is to create a machine where I never have to clone myself ever again.
Yeah.
Maybe it just didn't work out for me.
Which is what they did with Picard. Like that's what Soong started. That's like this whole thing. And they're trying to make a full circle because they basically download the consciousness of the human and then upload it into the android. So it's like...
So maybe he's been cloning himself, and that was his attempt to stop cloning himself and just create a body that never goes bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And his third attempt was Data, right?
Right, because you have B4 and Lore.
Yeah, B4, Lore, and Data. So yeah.
Yeah, and that didn't quite work out either because
until they write another one,
Well, but he didn't have time to finish the experiment because the crystalline entity. That's what I find interesting. What if he was allowed to continue moving forward? There might have been a fifth android that actually looked more human, and he could have uploaded himself to that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I did find it interesting that we're going to talk about this a little later on, that Brent Spiner, they were going to add Data back to Picard season 2, and he had this very negative reaction about it. He wanted to make sure that Data stayed dead for whatever reason. All right, so we're nearing the end of the show here, and so far we got Adam Soong is a bad guy, and I don't understand
that stuff just killed me, man. Like it really did. I heard you guys talking about it, but it killed me because I thought that was his daughter. Like this was a M. Night Shyamalan twist, but like a terrible one. Well, like I did not see
M. Night Shyamalan twists are pretty terrible.
I did not see this coming. I really thought, like, I bought into his love for her and the relationship.
It was a perfect villain. I don't know why they.
Yeah, but they just made him so apparently every Soong until Data is a garbage human, so
they're all this horrible, rotten scoundrels.
This was a massive mistake because this is going to impact the show. Like, this is not like, this was a bad episode. Like, this actually impacts every episode going forward. It's going to make every episode a little bit worse than it could have been because now the bad guy sucks.
Yeah, totally.
And speaking of, though, the bad guy sucks, yet he spent all this time like celebrating birthdays and stuff. With her finding out about this is like this massive revelation for her. So obviously she's going to be a part of the show now.
I guess so. Cause that was a huge reveal. Like she's like the 21st clone of him. So he never even had a wife. He's just some crazy mad scientist. It's just like,
That's not, why would you, if you clone yourself, why would you change your gender?
Because they're woke. Come on. Because CBS is woke. That's 100% why.
Or maybe it's just that they had that actress on contract. So,
okay.
Whatever it is, then they go, okay, well, his synapses are firing, but there's a block in his brain.
Or because of the episode with Lowell, that could be it too. Sorry.
And Laris is like, I can go in with my secret fancy future device that allows me to do like a janky mind meld. Now,
a janky mind meld.
She said a jury-rigged.
And you notice that looked like Gary's pen.
It does, yeah.
Which I thought was kind of cool.
This is all fine, except for, does it bother anyone that we're once again talking about Picard's mom? It's a never-ending reference.
I think they're just. Well, hold up. I think it's just more of their mental health BS, and I hate to. God, that just hurt me to say that. I'm sorry. I think it's just. I think it's that angle they're trying to play. You know what I mean? Like, clearly something bad happened to his mom. She died when he was really young, and it was traumatic, and he maybe has some unresolved PTSD issues from it. Which, like, I have PTSD. I don't want to get into it right now. I'm not trying to bring the show down. So like people, but I see a therapist about it. You know what I mean? Like people, it's an important thing, but I am trying, like we talked about earlier, when I'm watching my entertainment, I'm trying to check out. You know what I mean? Like my life is crap enough.
That's why it's called entertainment.
Exactly.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So she's using her neuro-optic interceptor. She wants to go in there for some reason. Surprise, surprise. Raffi doesn't want to do it. She's the bummer in the room. And she's like, no, you can't do it. His brain is comatose for a reason. Blah, 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 blah. Which is not, obviously not something that took me by surprise. Of course, she's going to be the bummer.
Of course.
And that's pretty much,
she's like,
Jurati went from Saturday Night Live Debbie Downer sketch with her.
Right. No, so first season, Jurati was my least favorite character. This season, Raffi is my least favorite character. Like, it's totally switched for me.
Yeah. And Rios, being the logical one in the room, says, we got to do this because the show's name is Picard. So get it.
No, I love Rios, man. He's great.
And then we get to see the Queen / Jurati walking down the street in that amazing red dress. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
It's like the Matrix, were you paying attention to me or were you looking at the lady in the red
dress? Yeah. Yeah.
That is one of the greatest scenes. And I'll tell you why, because I remember watching that when I was younger.
And you were looking at the lady in the red dress.
I was looking at the lady in the red dress. So when they stopped and they referenced that, you're like, oh, damn.
It worked.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. And that, so 3 bullet points. What do I like? Rios is great.
Rios is great. You like the red dress.
I like Jurati this season. So far, everything Jurati's done has been pretty good. I like the Borg Queen. I like everything about the Borg Queen. I think they're underusing Seven. They're overusing Raffi.
Agreed. They're underusing Q.
They're underusing Q. I think that they permanently damaged what could have been an amazing character with Adam Soong.
Yep.
I believe
100%.
they used a lot of cheap TV tricks to sort of get to where they wanted to be with the doctor and the flashbacks or whatever.
Yeah.
And they are overusing Picard's mom, and it scares me that she'll end up being the Borg Queen or something crazy.
No, she is not going to be the Borg Queen.
I know it's going to be Jurati now. It's just going to,
it's just going to be, this is just their mental health message. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? Like he's going to get over whatever happened to his mom by the end of this. And that's going to be their B plot mental health story. You know what I mean? That's what I think anyway.
All right.
He's going to get over like the PTSD of being, seeing his mom abused or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, like, hey man, I'd like to think it's possible. I went through a similar thing about 20 years ago with my therapist, Mental health. The mental health is a real thing. I'm not trying to belittle it.
Sit down. Let's talk about your mother.
I don't want it in my entertainment.
Yeah, it's excessive.
That's why I don't like horror movies. People give me grief all the time. I'm like, I'm not trying to be like I don't want to be scared. I want to be entertained. You know what I mean? It's like that's just not my thing.
Unless the movie is a scary movie, and that's the purpose. I mean,
well, look, obviously I like Evil Dead, but it's so campy and ridiculous. I find it funny. I don't find it realistic. I don't like. I guess what I mean is like, for example, I can't watch like the Discovery Channel. I have like a knee surgery or something like that. I cannot watch that.
Right. You don't want something that you think is real.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I like Walking Dead. Love it. Knee surgery on Discovery Channel. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. No, so at 1 to 5 stars, folks, what would you give this episode?
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm going to give it a higher score than you, but
that's fine. But here's the thing. I was going to give it middle of the road, like 2.5 out of 5. We were talking about 5 stars, right?
Right.
So, but the Jurati's boobs alone, I got to give it a half. So I'll give it a 3. I'll give it 3 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny.
No, but I'm being very transparent. I was never attracted to that actress.
So you're just giving into your lust.
Yeah, but hey, 0.5. Only 0.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I agree with your 0.5 sentiment, and that makes it a 2.5 out of 5 for me.
That's just horrible. You see now, and I'll tell you this. Now the way that so the way that I rate things. So yeah, 2.5 is because I usually do a 10-point scale, but all right. So cutting everything in half.
Cut in half. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2.5 would mean that if the choice is watch paint dry or watch this show, it's a coin toss if it's a 2.5.
Oh, wow. You're stricter than me. I would say that's a 2.0. 2.5 is,
no, a 2.5 is like, halfway.
It's halfway. It's like I could do with or without, Right.
But that's the idea is that,
man, like I'll never watch paint dry. I don't know what you're talking about. That's like our
but halfway means like, okay, I'm neither motivated to watch it nor motivated not to watch it.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So, I'm not motivated to watch paint dry nor motivated not to watch paint dry.
So it's a 50-50. So we're all pretty much on the same page.
And so I would give it a 2.5. Yeah. I would not.
Okay.
I would not go out of my way to watch this episode, nor would I avoid watching this episode.
So 2.5. I said 2.5, but I gave it an extra 0.5 for the boobs. So
we just made it clear. Just giving into your carnal.
I'm the pervert. So let's just call it 2.5 certified.
So I would say that as a group, we're giving it about a 2.7.
2.5. Right. Nah, 2.5. No, I'll agree to 2.5.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're both agreeing to a nice fat 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on from Picard here. What do you guys give it? What do you guys give the Picard episode?
Yeah.
One
Come
to
on,
5
chime
stars.
in. 1 to 5 stars.
Chime in.
And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now. And give us a thumbs up if you want more amazing revelations about your favorite shows. Also, click the notification bell to never miss an episode because YouTube is a fickle mistress.